Hello. I think I said hello to most of you already, but thank you so much for coming. I think I've said there's some still coming through, so I've just said come in. But the weather wasn't conducive to coming out, so I thank you all for coming, and especially those that have travelled here today. It's so nice to be able to share the sanctuary with so many people I see on little screens on a Friday, or we see on a Tuesday evening, or so it's really nice to see you here. And what I want to do is to kind of introduce the sanctuary to you, which is why I think most of you have come here today. And I want to also, Michael is going to give a talk on something. I don't think it's been... You never know with Michael, he can say one thing and then it comes out different.
We're going to deeply examine something today.
So
yes.
what I thought I'd do is explain the structure of everything that it is. Hi, Lisa. You're late, but it's all right. Do you want me to... Lisa's one of us. First of all, there's something called the Band of Light. Okay? The Band of Light is here. Okay? There's three of us. And the name was given by Joseph to act. It doesn't mean anything, really. It's just a name that's been given. Originally, there were four of us. There was David as well. And it's a miracle how it works. David came in when we needed printing expertise, where books could be laid out, because Michael's brought through 8 books now. And David came along and he did an amazing job on setting up the books, getting them published, watching it, fine-tuning it. And then he's gone on to do other things. And so I think his mission, if it had been laid out before he came here, was to delve in, do what he needed to do, his expertise, and then go out. I've done what I've come to do. I'm off somewhere else now. I think that's right, isn't it?
Yes, we're still in contact with him, of course.
We're still best of friends, yes, in contact. But on a day-to-day basis, there's us three. And so Michael has been responsible. Michael is a trance medium, as you probably nearly all know. And as such, Michael spent his life in mediumship. He was born as a medium, is my belief. But Michael has brought through 8 of the most amazing books. And they're called the Joseph Communications. Okay, so we have the Band of Light, which was ours, and then the Joseph Communications. And the Joseph Communications are 8 books. And there's a really great order in which to read those books. And I'll talk you through that later on. 6 of them are of Michael channeling books, and the other 2 that Jane put together of road shows we've done, of talks that have come through Michael, other than what for the books. So Joseph was the spokesperson for bringing through the books, and then there are other guides that are in Michael's little soul group, if you like. The Persian gentleman. He's watching us. I daren't say too much. I'll tell you about him afterwards. So the Persian gentleman, and they give talks, and they're absolutely sublime. You read the talks or listen, in some cases, I've been there, and you think, this is it, I remember. It's so obvious. It's a truth. I know deep down this is a truth. And so we have 2 books of those. One's called Transmission, and the other one's called...
Many Voices, One Mission.
Many Voices, One Mission. Okay, and there are a series of talks where we've been out. We went over to Ireland, where we did some talks. We did a road show. We've been to Manchester. We've done a lot here at the Sanctuary in the early days, because this has been going on for over 10 years now. And the books, the Joseph Communications, in my history of searching, I got to 40 and started searching. There must be more to life than this. There's got to be something different than accountancy and textile engineering. I don't think the universe was built on those 2 things, and that's what I was stuck in at that time. And I searched, I went through all sorts, theosophy, anthroposophy. I learnt sacred geometry, which I now believe we've been told isn't available at the moment to us. I've learnt rays, the different rays. I loved the Rudolf Steiner work, which was anthroposophy. And my wife became a teacher under the Rudolf Steiner system, Waldorf education, and we opened a school in Lancaster that's still running based on that. It's a lovely, lovely way of working and a lovely way of developing children in a way spiritually, so that they understand there's something more and they focus on those things rather than the material. So that developed along the way from 40, and also a lot of other Himalayan masters, yoga, Kriya yoga particularly, there were others. And all of them gave me something. They all added to what I was understanding. And I think, as I've been a psychotherapist now for 25 years, I understand how the mind works. It starts taking in this information and it can override the old information. So I might have read about a Himalayan master, and there might have been a question mark about one or two things that were being said about how the universe works in the books. And so the way the mind works, if you get something new, it can go, eureka, that's the bit that we were doubtful about. I don't quite believe, or I need a bit of extra information for. And the mind can override that, and so it adds to it. But when I got to the Joseph stuff 20 years later, when I met Michael and Jane, it was all in one package. Everything that I'd learnt and everything that I believed was in a no-nonsense 6 books of philosophy, plus the 2 books that Jane put together. And it was incredible. I just picked the book up and that was it. I can't believe that it's all here. Everything is here that I need to know. I don't need to know anything else. But what that taught me was also that it's really easy to get distracted from what is useful information for you and what will get you to the point where you acknowledge you're part of something greater, a spiritual reality, that's something greater. And so that all these distractions that lead you astray as you're going on, they're not leading you astray, they're just wasting time. And I see words now that are bandaged, banded around. And I'm not saying whether they're right or wrong, I might be getting a bit contentious here, but things like walk-ins, hybrids, galactic cruises to the Arctic and things like that. For me, the distractions, you have to do the work. From everything I've read and from Michael, and I'm blessed that I have a direct contact through Michael to the Soul Group, tells me that we have to do the work. We have to put the work in, and that also we got ourselves in the mess that the world's in at the moment, humanity has, and we have to get ourselves out of it. There's no... I meet up with a group in Australia, and they are theosophical thinkers, lovely, lovely people, and very devoted to what they do. One of them opened the sanctuary 18 years ago, came over especially to open the sanctuary. And Annie Hartley, she's called Reverend Annie Hartley. And it's great, it really is. But they believe that... hi, come in, you're very welcome, Ken. Looks like you're going to... Oh, you can sit there or there. They believe that there's going to be somebody come, they say the Maitreya, the Lord Maitreya, who's going to come in 80 years' time. Well, I've known them for 15 years, and it's still 80 years' time he's going to come. And I don't believe that. I don't believe we can take it upon ourselves to be blasé and to leave it in the hope that something's going to come along and put right what we put wrong. And so, whilst they're amazing people, I love the philosophy of what they're doing, I don't believe there's going to be a Maitreya. I don't believe there's going to be somebody who's going to go along and wave a fairy wand and say everything's right. I believe we've got to do the work, and I believe that work that we've got to do is about what we're supposed to be, and that's angelic. We are angelic. Each one of us is angelic. Hi. There's one at the back or one at the front? And so what do angels do? They create. That is it, isn't it? Angels create. So we as angels are creators. So how do we create? We create with our thinking, with our minds. We do that all the time. All of our thoughts. Our thoughts can be our best friends or our worst enemies. And so we think something, and then it has a life of its own. The word that is used a lot in the books is sentience. It has sentience. It has a life of its own. So if you're a child and you get told off and you get angry, you are creating anger. You have created it. You are an angel. Your thoughts create that you're thinking about. And so this anger is something then that wants to please you because you've created it. Yeah? It's attached to you. You haven't let it go because we're not at that stage yet. So we have this anger, which we keep as a feeling, okay? And so anger looks for other things around to be angry at because it thinks it's pleasing you. You have created it. You're an angel, okay? So you've created anger. Here it is and saying, how can I please Master? Give him more angry. Give him more anger. Yeah? And so anger looks around for other things to be angry at. And it finds them. There's lots of them. And everybody's anger level or fear level, all those, they're individual. It's how you create in the first place. Everybody creates differently. Okay? And so it might be that you create anger. It might be you create frustration. It might be that you create jealousy. Any of these things. But make no mistake, they will come back to bite in that they want to grow. They want to get bigger because they know it pleases you because you created it. What a loop. Okay? So we have to work on ourselves with these things. Because not only, this is where I come up to the field, and Michael and Jane understand the field, and we talk about the field. So let me try and explain it a bit better than the word the field, as I understand it. Correct me if I get wrong here, Michael. The field is the field of human consciousness, okay? And this is the library of everything. Okay, so not only do we have our own individual light body, spiritual body that contains these things I've just talked about, but also there is a field of human consciousness. These have a vibration, and these vibrations go up into the field, into this library. So, for instance, the one quoted in the books is alcohol, and if you're an alcoholic, or if you're not an alcoholic, but nearly an alcoholic, you like a drink. Forgive me, I do have a glass of wine on a Friday evening. Your mind's going, oh, it's that time, I need a drink. I've held off till lunchtime. I need my 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. Okay? So you're doing that, and the feeling has words to it. The feelings have this library of limited words, and the feelings go, oh, go on, you've deserved it. You can stop drinking tomorrow. And something unconsciously that you're sort of processing as what happens every day at the same time, okay? So not only is it a feeling, but it has these words that convince you, you're okay. You deserve it. It's your time. You've resisted all morning. You deserve your drink now, okay? So it's very powerful. But on top of that, there is the field. And so there is a library up there of alcoholics who are dying for a drink. And because these people that have gone before us are in this library, their emotions, their negative emotions, or positive for that matter, they want to get close to you because to an extent, they can enjoy what it is that you're enjoying.
Have they moved on to the other side, or
Yeah.
are they in between?
There's both. There are the vibrations that we have by thinking negatively, by having these thoughts about drink, but there's also this low, what we call the lower astral, the lower astral, where there are souls who've moved over but don't necessarily want to go into the cleansing spheres, which is their progression to higher vibrations. So they hang around in lower vibrations and they say, I'd like a drink. I'd like to be closer to you when you have a drink. Go on, have a drink. And I'll tell you a story. I can tell you this story because the person it isn't from anywhere that any of you'll know. So I can tell you. I once did therapy with a lady who had a grown-up family, and I say they were teens, a loving family. They were a good family, and all of a sudden she started going to nightclubs, and you could say, well, it's menopausal or something like that. And she was a big lady, and she was wearing inappropriate clothes, too short skirts for a woman of her age and size. And she hated it, but she was doing it. And she was getting into all sorts of skirmishes. She was needing the drink, and she was drinking vodka. And so she'd go into a bar, drink vodka, and somebody'd start chatting her up. They'd go down a club, something like that. And she ended up with all these near skirmishes where the end was going to be sexually orientated. But she managed to, she hated it. Nothing happened. She didn't, but she was living a life of misery. And she could go out on Friday night with her husband, have half a lager, and really happy. Two things, two opposites going on. Okay, so we did therapy. And what had happened was her daughter, her sister, her younger sister, who she was quite a bit younger than her, at the age of 13, I'd come home from school and said, I'm hearing voices in my head, and they're telling me bad things, to do bad things. And of course the parents said, no, don't think about that, that's not good, you know. She started taking drugs, and she started drinking alcohol, and she went down and died in her early 20s, okay? Big sister, who I was doing therapy with, went to the funeral and came away a different person. She came away and she was having the problems that I've just explained to you. And it had jumped from the sister to there, this energy ball, this negative energy ball that then tried to run her life. She didn't, we got through it. But that's how things can happen. There's these other ways that you can be subject to. There's your own way because you're an angelic creator, but there's also other ways where this can happen. Other energies can stick to you. And so what we've done, we've made a film of this, a documentary, which you're now going to show. It's only 3 minutes or 4 minutes, but I just want you to get an idea of one aspect of the field, which hopefully will be helpful.
Wolf at the Door, the story of the field, as told by the Persian gentleman. A long, long time ago, a family of angels set out on their very happy home in search of new experiences. And they settled somewhere new, somewhere where they also felt they would be happy. The grass was a lush, vibrant green, the trees fruit-laden, the streams crystal clear. Let's call their new home the field. And life in the field was bliss for the angel settlers, absolute bliss for a long, long time. Until one day, everything changed. The story of how and why is for another time. Sufficient to say that from that day onwards, they began to fear the wolf. What if a wolf should break into our field, into our homes? One of the angels wondered. Yes, wouldn't that be terrible? Another angel said. Perhaps we should bolt our doors from now on. A third angel, feeling nervous and fearful, felt this was a very sensible suggestion, as did another, and many more. Until soon there dawned a day when every single member of the angel family feared the wolf so much that none of them dared venture out. And sure enough, as if in response to their wild imaginings, a wolf did appear, and they became even more afraid. And the more their fear took hold, the bigger and more powerful the wolf became. In their every waking moment, they feared it might devour them. It haunted their dreams every night. It prowled their every thought. Yet their upset was unnecessary and could have been avoided had they understood that, as angels, it was their thoughts, their fears, that had created it. They had forgotten that whenever they imagined something together, believed in something together, whenever they united in anticipation of something, they brought into being whatever they thought of. They created around themselves whatever they believed in the most. And so their once beautiful home became a hell for them, a place of sorrow and of dread, stoked by a wolf they had imagined into being, dominated by a wolf they had conjured up, terrorized by a threat they believed in and gave form to via their thoughts and beliefs. Their new home, the field, had been a delightful, happy place, but not anymore. No, not anymore. You can't help but feel sorry for them, sadden on their behalf. But fortunately, this is just a story, isn't it? Well, not exactly. Just like that angelic family, you too came from a happy home to this place seeking new experiences. And this place, this earth, was once a happy place for you and for everyone else here too. But in journeying here, you forgot who you were. You forgot that you too are angels, that you too are linked to each other, are part of each other, and that whatever you think about and believe in together, you shape and solidify around you. You forgot that you are living within a responsive energy field of your beliefs and expectations. A field that, just like you, is alive. A field that is fed by your thoughts as individuals and as a group and responds by delivering back to you exactly what you put into it. You forgot that the only wolves out there are those that you have created. Wolves you continue to create and give strength and reality to. And that if you wish those wolves to be gone from your door and from your lives, all you need do is think them away. All you need do is think, imagine, in a different way, in a better way, in a way that rebuilds around you the bliss you once had, and which can be yours again. So, what is the field? The field is the collector and deliverer of humanity's strongest beliefs and expectations. And it surrounds and influences each and all of you every day of your lives. The field builds around you whatever you choose to put into it, whatever you believe to be true. And at the moment, so many believe it to be the deliverer only of bad things, only of negative things. But there's no need to worry, because today is a golden opportunity to think, to believe, to see, to create something different, something better for yourself and for everyone else on earth. All it takes to transform your world from a negative place into a positive place is for you to change your viewpoint, dear angel, to dream a different dream. Because to fill this world with love, harmony, and happiness, you simply need to change the field's mind. And doing that is simply a matter of changing yours.
Stop it. This came through Michael from the Persian gentleman, and he delivered the words first of all, and then he said, I'd like if you'll take it, would you mind making the film in this way? And through Michael, Michael was in a room, and I think you said you saw it like a hologram, and ideas were floating across in front of him around. And then psychically the Persian gentleman said, right, write this down, Michael. And Michael had gone, right, a line down. And that's the result of it. And it's taken us, what, nearly a year to do that?
Yes.
Yeah. And we've got 3 more films coming out very shortly. The first one's very nearly ready. And they will be about the fall. And the fall is about how we separated from God, how it started, how the world started, if you like. But anyway, because of limited time, I'm going to move on a little bit. The field is something I'm passionate about because as a psychotherapist, it all clicks together exactly what's happening in your mind and also what you need to do to change those thoughts. Okay, but one of the things, so what I've told you so far is that there's the Band of Light, there's the Joseph Communications, which are the books. Okay, so then we have the Sanctuary. The Sanctuary is the home of Joseph and the home of the Joseph Communications. And it developed differently. I didn't know Michael for the first 3 years, and I didn't know Jane. I'd been on a journey of looking at health and healing. And as a psychotherapist, I'd learned a very modern way called NLP psychotherapy. And it was amazing that it worked quickly with people with anxiety, depression, all those type of things. And I started working with physical ailments, and it worked. Psychotherapy, I could see how the mind has set forth a train of action in your body that causes a particular outcome. Not in all people, everybody's different. And so I developed then into, I found electromagnetics, and I found people around the world who were working differently with healing than pharmaceutical. Behind the Iron Curtain after the war, they didn't have drugs. And so when it came down, when the war came down, all these very clever people at universities have been developing how electromagnetics can rebalance the cells at a cellular level of your body. And so I got very interested in this. And I went over to Poland and found out what they were doing, really clever people in Krakow, and brought back some of the machines which we've got upstairs that work for pain, autoimmune diseases, and various other things like that. And if I was to tell you now, it's different, but then I thought, I can't tell people how much this way of working will do. It's like snake oil. They'd think I'd gone crazy, that I was sort of making it all up. But it's a really, really interesting arena, electromagnetics and vibrational medicine, as they call it. So I went back to college and learnt what I needed to do, got my O-level in physics, and we pursued that. And upstairs, anybody who wants to look around after the meditation today, I'm around to take you around and I'll explain them all to you. And so the Sanctuary was developing in this way. And I knew it was something special, the Sanctuary. The energy here is just phenomenal. And people have been and said you're on ley lines this way and that way, which I now know to be true. And I know that it's an ideal place because of various things, like Pendle Hill in the background. It's the exact centre of the UK, Pendle Hill. Just as Uluru is in Australia, Pendle Hill is here. And things have happened here, like the Quaker movement was formed by a vision on top of Pendle Hill. Still going strong, Quaker movement. We've got great respect for them. And so the witches of Pendle, which people know, you know, if you get a thinning of the veil between the spiritual vibrations and our vibrations, you can get access to that can be of a high vibrational value or not so high. And I think the witches might have been more healing people who'd handed down, and they were more understanding of those energies that were coming through them. They were getting inspiration about which herbs to use for which illnesses and things. So I think Pendle Hill has a certain energy, a thinning of the veil where that can happen. And I didn't know at the time, but Michael was born in Whalley, just below, in sight of Pendle Hill. And I was born in Burnley side, in sight of Pendle Hill. So there was some synergy in that we come from surrounding Pendle Hill, this area. And the way that the sanctuary happened, is for another talk, but it was unbelievable, the sequence of events which made it available at a price that could be to bring into action. And now 17 years later, it's moved on. We're doing the healing, we have a healing corridor, but we're doing a lot more spiritual work, a lot more Joseph work. And the third thing is, so we have the home of Joseph, we have the books, we have Michael who brought them all through, but we also have the work. I keep saying we have to do the work. One of the things we have to do is align ourselves with that higher angelic vibration. We're all angelic, but we have to, because of free will, we have to align ourselves totally with the angelic intention, which knows better than we do where those energies need to go, and has a lot more of that energy. And that is the World Meditation Alliance. And that's the work that there is no more higher work, I don't think, at the moment, is there, Michael, than the work of the World Meditation Alliance. And Michael gets messages privately saying that what we're doing is amazing, because even though we would like more numbers, but the numbers we've got are making a difference, because we are aligning ourselves, we're giving our permission, we're the missing link in the chain that allows this huge flow of high-level vibrations to come through and to be distributed everywhere, everything. We don't need to think about it. And for the people in the WMA, you're touched by it. You're kissed by those energies. You have to. They're not using your energy, bringing through. It's their energy. It's angelic energy of the highest level. But what comes through, because we're the link in the chain, it touches us. That's right, Michael, isn't it? Would you like to just say something on that? You said bring you in at any time.
I'd like to expound on that as well in the talk later on, Tony. So
okay.
I'll back over to you.
Okay, all right. So Michael's going to talk more about that. We don't really have notes, so we didn't compare notes before we started. So the sanctuary also, just bringing it back to a humour, it's a really happy place. We have a small team of people here, probably about 12 people working and to do with it. And a lot of them are here today, sat at the back like naughty girls there. I'll just introduce them. We have Sue, who is chair of the trustees. And Sue gives 2-3 days a week entirely free of charge to the sanctuary every week. Has done for years. Charlotte is our unbelievably fit trustee of the sanctuary. Charlotte teaches Pilates and is very involved in mindfulness and does an incredible job. Lisa, she's a trustee of the sanctuary and gives her time, which they all do. And Lisa has just got her degree. She looked really grown up in a hat and gown the other day. Down in Wales, was it? You got your degree in mindfulness. So as well as everything else, other degrees and things, she's just got a degree in mindfulness and is a very valuable member of the team. We've got Rebecca, our youngest member, who has enormous energy, has skills that she uses in yoga, in working. It's a wide area that you're working in at the moment, and and Rebecca also, anything, somebody's off in the kitchen, Rebecca will do it. She's amazing. Somebody off cleaning, she'll do the cleaning. It's just such a pleasure to have people that will do that. And it's a happy place. We all have lots of fun together. And that is the inner team. Recently, Paul, you might see beautiful flowers outside and tubs and things. Paul has taken it upon himself to make the sanctuary beautiful with nature. And we're all so grateful for that. So Paul is part of the team in a physical way, but also an advocate of Joseph, read all the books, keep asking me awkward questions about the Joseph philosophy. And then we have Vanessa here. And Vanessa is the manager of the sanctuary. She's the boss. She runs the place. She keeps everybody in check. But she's also a really good singer. I don't know. We wrote a song about Pendle. Did you hear it? Because I am going to play it to you whether you did or not. And this is it. And Avi, our cameraman here, who spends loads of times here, is an amazing guitarist and an amazing putting together of, is in a group, heavy metal or something, but and he put all the backing together for this song as well. So I'm just going to pay you that, because this is the sort of fun things that we do. We don't quite know why we made the song, and we put it on our podcast, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But I'm just going to play you, hopefully, that song. Final copy. There we are. Of course, it won't play.
Do it live, Vanessa.
I can only do it through these speakers.
Pendle, oh Pendle, thou standest alone. Twixt Burnley and Clitheroe, Whalley and Colne, where Hodder and Ribble's fair waters do meet, with barley and Downham content at thy feet. Thy mystical magic through ley lines doth spread, the sanctuary of healing so gratefully fed. In our meditations your energies real, when sitting in silence your presence we feel. Pendle, oh Pendle, thou standest alone. Twixt Burnley and Clitheroe, Whalley and Colne, where Hodder and Ribble's fair waters do meet, with barley and Downham content at thy feet. Pendle, oh Pendle, majestic, sublime, thy praises shall ring till the end of all time. Thy beauty eternal, thy banner unfurled, that dearest and grandest old hill in the world.
Hasn't she got an amazing voice? So we don't really know why we did it, but we made the song, and it's like, wouldn't it be nice to have a sort of not an anthem, but something we can relate to? And Avi said, yeah, I can do the backing on this. I can put it all together. And then you were made to sing it. But the thing is, we've got pictures of Vanessa doing it. She did it in one take. We didn't have to redo it. And so that was the same with this film. And we're now doing, we don't question it. It kind of comes through that it's something we need to do that sort of is in line and will show itself when we we need them. But we've started, Michael and I are doing a podcast now every other week called Time Out for Something Spiritual. He's got two fingers on the emblem touching each other on the thing. I think you did the artwork for that, didn't you? No, Jess? Okay. So we have a podcast called Time Out for Something Spiritual. So this is another aspect of what we do here. And again, Michael and I talk for 10 minutes and we discuss a spiritual aspect that either people bring up to us or we think are worth expanding over and above what we do. So we have that as well. So we have the podcast, which we hope is useful for people who are with us on that journey. We have this very happy place where people can come. And in the sanctuary, within the confines of the sanctuary, this is the new Persian gentleman. And again, we don't really know why we did it. We did it. And we were told, you know, this is going to be a special room for the World Meditation Alliance people. It's going to be a centre and it allows us to entertain. We have the cafe, which is vegetarian and nearly organic. We have a library, which again, that our next focus will be on the library. And what we hope to do is to get a little more interactive where you can pull out Joseph's stuff and listen to it. With so much material now. And we have it in audio, we have it in video. We've taken everything in books. We've taken everything and got it out there. So what we need to do now is to make sure that it is available here at the sanctuary and people can come in the library as well as all the other books on complementary health and things. You'll be able to focus on Joseph and get what you want. We've just put together 2 compendiums of the intentions from June 2021 when we started doing this. And so we have books which we can put around the place afterwards. Yeah. Have we 2? Okay. They're not to leave the premises, and that's something I need to mention. There's the intention and the bonus material, but the bonus material is only available to people who are in the WMA and come to the sessions. It's not to be written down. If any of you say, can I have a copy of that? The answer is no. You can't. We've been told very clearly we can't let copies go outside our hands. But if you care, as members, as family members, if you care to read them again, they are available, but you can't copy them and you can't take them away. Okay, so we've got the most important thing, I think, is the meditations at the moment. The world needs it. The world is at a pivotal moment, as you all know. It's funny, I don't watch the news, I don't listen to the news, I don't ever have telly on, but I know what's going on. Somehow or other you find out. Vanessa tells me in the morning. But it is at a pivotal stage, and we don't get into it. The thing that I've learnt from Michael is that if I start getting excited about Trump or Biden or what's the horrors that are going on in the Middle East, I'm adding to that horror by getting the energy of that. And so I just keep away from it as much as I can and work on controlling my thoughts first and foremost. And I've got a way of scrubbing out the bad ones before they get up there. But we have to. We've got to. The biggest single thing each of us can do individually, this is what we're supposed to do, is to be able to control our thoughts, that we only have positive thoughts. And collectively what we're supposed to do is the work is to help bring in that massive amount of high-level energy from the angelic realms to be distributed, not by us, but to be distributed by those who know where it needs to go for us to get out of this mess and for us to acknowledge our angelic heritage. So that's us. I will take you round after. Anybody who wants to go round after the meditation, we're going to meditate it. We'll be in there for 1:15. There's a lunch laid on here, and it's Persian. The chef Lee, he's done all sorts of research, and he's been up late. He's done an amazing job. Again, I wish I could get him in here to say thank you, but he won't come. So we've got a lunch for you, a spread, and then as you're doing that, I will disappear and prepare myself for the meditation. And then we'll be in there by 1:15, and we'll do the meditation. I'll take anybody round afterwards. I'll talk to anybody afterwards. Michael's going to speak, and unfortunately, Michael will be going after he's spoken. He'll hang around for a few minutes, have some lunch. And the other thing is that a lovely lady who came last time we did one of these, Karen watched a film called Chocolat a long time ago, and she's been making chocolates like that ever since. And she's made a PG chocolate, handmade, in little boxes somewhere. You've got them, okay? And they are to hand out today. There's not enough for everybody, so if you're a couple, you get one between two of you, okay? But we'll get most people, okay? And it's a case of family hold back on the back row. You can have one, Rebecca. You didn't get one last time. So that's it. But there's another thing that we've learned, that we have a private meditation group that does this. And all the time we're looking at ways that we can help cleanse people, close them down, think correctly. That's our life. That's what we do. But recently, our Pilates teacher, Charlotte, who's waving a hand, in private, taught us a way to cleanse down after meditation. And it just takes a couple of minutes, but it's really good. Charlotte.
Are we all doing it?
Yeah. You're all okay to do this. You'll have to stand. I'm going to hand over then. We're going to have a break, and then it's Michael. But Charlotte, if Charlotte would just come and show you.
Do you want me to come back?
Yeah, I do. I'm going to put spotlights on you.
Okay, thanks for this.
I didn't give Charlotte any notice of this. She'd have said no. But it really helps. It really does help.
Okay, so we need to stand up if you want to stand up. If you're okay standing up.
If not, you can sit down.
Yeah.
It's all right.
So basically I do it with my Pilates clients, and it's a really good way, a really good thing to do in the morning, just to really help ground your bodies and come into your body. So great before meditation and also after meditation. It's a very simple technique of tapping, brushing and shaking, okay? So if you just start, so what we're doing is we're just breaking down fascia, which is like a connective tissue throughout the body. And when we do that, it relaxes the whole body. So not only are we tapping, so if we just start, you stay on the same arm, so just tap across the shoulder. So you can tap lightly with fingers, you can really give yourself a good slap, there's no sort of like, and start to work down your arm. And go under your armpits, there's quite a lot of lymph nodes there. And if we release the fascia, which creates, which holds the lymphatic system, that helps to drain toxins from the body. Okay, so we go up and round, and then we give a really good. Oh, your microphone, Tony. That's calmer. And then we shake, and then we brush, and you can imagine that you're brushing off maybe any negative energies that you've been holding on to. You've got a big pool there. Just get rid of anything that's bugging you. Yeah. You can feel like it's quite cleansing, isn't it, already? Just get a really good brush down, feel it dripping off your fingers, and then start to shake the same arm, so we're still on the same arm. And what we'll do when we've done this side, we will compare to the other side so that you can see that something's happened. Okay, and then if you've got room, you can shake the same leg back and forth. So you're on a bit of a one leg stand. So I do this most
I do that.
just to relax my whole body. Okay, so when you've given yourself a good shake, let's just stand for a moment. Just close your eyes. Let's just take a couple of nice big lateral deep breaths in through the nose, into the rib cage, down into the lower belly, and just exhale. And another nice deep breath in. And exhale. And with your eyes still closed, just what do you sense into that side that you've just been doing? Perhaps, perhaps feels a little bit lighter, a little bit tinglier. So now the same side that you've just done, just have a little bounce. So if you've been doing your left side, stand on your left leg and just have a little bounce up and down. And feel the ease there. And then go on to the side that you haven't done. And it will feel stiffer. Okay? So very simple. Let's do the other side, then we can't be uneven. So just tap
Everybody walking around like
all
this.
around the shoulders, under your armpits, down. So this can be done throughout the body. It helps me get up Pendle Hill.
Before breakfast.
So a nice good tap, and also it's a bit of a laugh, isn't it? You know, light-hearted. And then do your sweeps down the arm. Any energies that you feel you don't want around you. You've been thinking those thoughts that maybe we shouldn't, and creating. Get rid of them. Yeah, I do really nice long stroke. And then a nice little shake out again with that arm. I love seeing everybody's different shakes. We have some Queenie shakes, some really good old shakes. And then do the same leg as your arm. You see, you need to come to Pilates, some of you, to learn your balance. And then just stand again. Just stand. Oh, just take a nice big full breath in again. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just feel that energy that's flowed into your body just from doing that. Feeling grounded through the body. And exhale. And there we are.
Charlotte. Okay. And it's something we've found really helps, and it actually puts you back into your body from meditating for an hour. You feel good? Yeah.
I've got a video of it actually, all, so we could always put it.
Oh, I can advertise your classes as well if you like, with a billboard. So I think I've covered what I wanted to cover. I wanted to give you an understanding of the setup where everything interconnects, and I wanted to let you know the incredibly valuable work you're doing with the WMA, and I'm sure Michael's going to reinforce that as well. So thank you all for being part of that family, and thank you for coming up here today in the frost, the ice and everything. So that's me done. We'll have a quick break, and then Michael's going to take the floor afterwards. Thank you all very much for being here.